Mr. Litvinenko's death was a deeply shocking event. Despite the ongoing police investigation and the efforts of the Crown Prosecution Service, those responsible have still not been brought to justice. I welcome the inquiry's report today, and I would like to put on record my thanks to Sir Robert Owen for his detailed, thorough and impartial investigation into this complex and serious matter. Although the inquiry cannot assign civil or criminal liability, I hope that these findings provide some clarity for Alexander Litvinenko's family, friends, and all those affected by his death. I would particularly like to pay tribute to Mrs. Marina Litvinenko and her tireless efforts to get to the truth. The inquiry, which in the course of its investigations has considered an abundance of evidence, has found that Mr. Litvinenko was deliberately poisoned by Andrei Lugovoy and Dmitry Kofton, who he had met at the Millennium Hotel on the afternoon of that day. The inquiry has also found that Lugovoy and Kofton were acting on behalf of others when they poisoned Mr. Litvinenko. There is a strong probability that they were acting under the direction of the Russian Domestic Security Service, the Federal Security Service, or FSB. And the inquiry has found that the FSB operation to kill Mr. Litvinenko was probably approved by Mr. Patrushev, the then head of the SFB, and by President Putin. The government takes these findings extremely seriously. In particular, the conclusion that the Russian state was probably involved in the murder of Mr. Litvinenko is deeply disturbing. It goes without saying that this was a blatant and unacceptable breach of the most fundamental tenets of international law and of civilised behaviour. But we have to accept this does not come as a surprise. The inquiry confirms the assessment of successive governments that this was a state-sponsored act.